All right, folks, welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm joined once again with Mel K. Mel K is back in the house. It's been a while. Man, it's been a long time, actually, because, dude,
Yeah, yeah.
and I don't know
Well,
what
we
it is.
both did.
Everyone's always like, guys angry at each other. I'm like, no, I just don't, we just don't ever, you're busy, I'm busy, everyone's busy. And and everyone knows what I've been going through. But man, Mel
Right.
is always, you're very educated on the globalist agenda, what's going on. I love to bring
Yeah,
you on. And here we are. We're in that final, dude. It's like going like this now. It's like
yeah.
it's like, and I say we're in the final stages, and anything can happen, right? Are you expecting anything to happen right now?
Yeah, I mean, what we're dealing with is a bunch of caged animals that are largely criminals that are more terrified for themselves to be held accountable than they are for this country. So when you have a whole bunch of people that have gotten away with crimes, in my opinion, since 1963, and don't want anyone to be held accountable for any of it, that is when you have what we have right now, which is a candidate that was put in place with no votes, a second candidate that was vetted and yet chosen anyway. And then also we have the entire international group that, frankly, infiltrated our country through the banking system, through the multinational corporations, and has a plan for a post-America world. And they're running as fast as they can to get this done. And they put Kamala Harris in the front seat, and good thing. She's just terrible.
Yeah, and it's saying here, and I don't know what Jack Posobiec meant by this. I just had him on my show the other day, but he said the White House official is saying it's over. Now, I don't understand what this means. I wanted to get your insight on this, if you have any insight on that. But if you just look at Kamala's presence, the way she's been acting lately, she's incredibly ornery. She's angry. She almost looks she's irritable. She's agitated. She knows she's losing, and they know if they lose what's going to happen to them, and that's
Right.
why they're billing Trump as a Hitler. He's this, he's that. Yeah, because they know he is going to be like a Hitler to them. Because yeah,
Right.
they probably will go to military tribunals. They probably will be held up to the American people, and they're going to understand their fates are sealed if Trump gets in. And I think she's realizing this as every second of the clock ticks by. I mean, you could just look at her. I mean, she's just unhinged, unstable, exhausted, inebriated, incoherent, inauthentic. I'd say the joy is gone, but it never existed. Kamala Harris is competing with herself, and she's losing. I've
Yeah.
heard this early voting is just a shutout.
Yeah, a brutal, especially. And what's interesting is, especially in North Carolina, where they just got hit and they were hoping, I think, that people would not be voting. Apparently, they're going wherever they can to vote in that entire area. And look, we have to remember what the bigger picture is about. We got a global public-private partnership that runs the world like they are the parent company of planet Earth. And they've been planning for a really long time between Agenda 2030 and the 17 goals and the international banking to put us all on the system that they built in China. The full track and trace surveillance system, I'm fully convinced, was built for the world and has been tested in
Yeah, they
China.
want China as the model.
Right,
China is going to be
exactly.
serve as the model is what they want the entire world to be after
Right,
they depopulate it by 3/4.
right. But that's exactly what's going on. And we also have to remember, a lot of people in our government were very involved in Google China, including Eric Schmidt, who is now behind the scenes running the AI and technology. He formerly of Google, but now behind the scenes in the Biden Harris administration, talking about the AI Bill of Rights and what he's going to do. Well, his best friend, and he wrote a book with Henry Kissinger. We have to understand the story that we're going through is that the last stand for the one world government, for the the full track and trace surveillance, global digital infrastructure. They just had the Pact of the Future. So these lunatics that run the public-private partnership and the international banking cartel, they're the ones that are paying for the controlled demolition of America. They're the ones that Kamala Harris works for. They're the ones that the Intel blob that came out of the unconstitutional Patriot Act worked for. And these are the people that are the real criminals. And so they've had us fighting each other, this nonsense, Republican, Democrat, left, right. It's all BS. The people that are running our country like it's a business, like they own all the natural resources, all the land, everything, everything on planet Earth, including the people, are the ones that are the most dangerous right now because they have the money, technology, the power. But I'm telling you, these people, they don't forget the UN is largely at the top, a lot of Chinese Communist Party, the World Economic Forum, same thing. And everything that was built, you will own nothing and be happy, is already running in China. And the whole goal was to get us all onto the digital public infrastructure that Biden Harris put in the both in the infrastructure bill, the Green New Deal bill, lots of stuff with biometric data and surveillance and all of that. If they could get America onto the global public infrastructure, they win. But they're not
Right,
able to do
we're the
that.
last domino to fall.
Yeah,
They need America.
right.
And so as we come into this election, and we know that you and I both know Trump is way ahead, and it's a
Yeah,
shutout. They're panicking right now. They're in fear of not just the future of America, but their own lives. They know their fates
yes.
are sealed. So, what kind of moves do you see happening coming into this? What do you think? What kind of panic moves do you see them doing within this window of time? Because I mean, it can start at not any day, but any moment.
Yeah, I agree with any moment. And I also think the most dangerous time is going to be between the 6th and the 20th
Mhm.
of January. But what we do know, and you and I know well,
6th and
is
20th
that
of January or 6th of November?
no, I think the 6th and 20th of
So the
January is
inauguration when Trump is supposed to be getting in there, I think they're going to contest it. They're not going to just hand over the keys of the kingdom, man.
no, no, they're not. They're not. And what right now is very dangerous. But what I do believe is not only will they contest it and all of that, but I think that they have cells all over the country. I know in Arizona, in some other places that people have reported from that there's large amounts of military aged men that are either Chinese or Middle Eastern or whatever else. We know that he brought in 60,000 unvetted Afghan people and all over this country. The interesting part is that Trump seems to be getting a nice amount of the Muslim American vote as well, even in Dearborn, Michigan. So that's not working out as they hoped. But I just really feel that this is going to be some kind of grid or financial like go offline. Like
All
it's
at
good.
once, all at
Yeah,
once.
like it's going to be an offline thing because also these people, the banking system is the biggest. Everyone has to understand they're losing trillions and trillions of dollars by not having their Agenda 2030 plans go forward that they've been planning with Barack Obama since 2015. So it's also going to collapse all of that. But I think they've been sending all their money overseas, but they're not safe overseas either. And the other thing that's very dangerous is these lawfare people, Mark Eisen, what's his name, Andrew Weissman, Mary McCord, Norm Eisen, all these people, they already have planned for a year. The Transition Integrity Project, the same people we talked about a year out from the 2020 election have been planning all this lawfare, all of these impeachments, everything for the minute Trump wins. So as we've been watching what they're doing, they at the same time have been gaming out everything as well. I even heard that they're going to go after him right away with impeachment for
Which I've always said that's what they're going to do. Is this is going to be brutal. He's not going to be able to make any moves once he's in. That's why I say
he
he's going
has
to
to
get
put him
in
away.
on. He's got it. He's going to come in unconventionally. I think with this mess that's about to transpire, when they try to finagle the bagel and they try to do all the things that they're going to do. I stole that from Mel Carwine. I was like, I like that.
I
But
love it.
but I think when this all transpires, I think we're going to see something happen to where the people are going to have, and it's going to come down to we the people. We're not going to take it
Right.
anymore. These people are going to be um, sent away and sent to their fates, and I think that Trump has to have complete control to do that.
I
And
agree.
I think the only way that's possible is if he gets in unconventionally. And I'm doubling down on that. I think I see strategy here, and that's the only way I see this working out. If he gets in conventionally, which we got to win, we got to come out and vote and do all that stuff. But you know they're going to contest it. You know
Yeah.
they're going to try to cheat. You know they're going to delay it or halt it or whatever they're
Right.
going to do. He's going to have to get in another unconventionally, and that's when he can do what he wants to do to the fullest extent.
Yeah. I
Can't
mean,
do it.
Don't
otherwise.
forget that he has evidence. I even have his first lawsuit that he filed that they put on hold. He has evidence against everyone all the way up to Obama. I mean, everyone. So we have to remember that too, that these people, especially I mean, these criminals are so bad. The entire Crossfire Hurricane team, the entire cover up of Crossfire Hurricane, which was the Mueller team, the entire both impeachment teams, whoever, all those people that were in the Ukraine embassy when Trump was in there, all of these people are guilty of sedition, treason, RICO. Then they put themselves back in office in 2020. But he's got to go for the big fish. In my opinion, if he goes for the big fish, obviously, I think the worst of the worst is probably Brennan. But if he goes for the big fish first, the other ones will fall. And what I am excited about, though, is that I believe that the team around him now is far better than anything that we saw the first time. Listen, he's admit he thought he won, and then he was going to go in there, and it would be like a CEO taking over a company. But it was the exact opposite. And at this point, like you said, it is going to be up to we, the people, draining the swamps in our backyards, because so much has been done here that what I always say is we have to be the white hats in our sphere of influence in our backyards, because the swamp is not in DC. The swamp is all over this country. DC happens to be the vassal state where all the worst corruption and everything is. But over 20 years with Soros and all the other things, it is in every
NGOs.
single, every county, every state. We got to start being the oversight committee in our own communities and our own neighborhoods, looking at who's getting these contracts, who's getting the no bid contracts all over the country. You know, it's everywhere, and it's all the same people at the very top.
And speaking of community, I mean, even here in El Paso, like the churches have been compromised, man. I mean,
Oh yeah,
even I know people that aren't even taking their kids to church anymore
yeah.
because it's all flying LGBTQ flags. Come get your vaccine. Since when does the church give out vaccines?
You
That's
know,
what it's come down to. That's where we're at now. I mean, we are
right.
completely compromised. We're completely. This has been now that we're completely taken over. I mean,
Yeah,
basically. So
captured.
now to clean to fumigate the termites, you have to kill every last one of them.
Yeah. And also, like you just said, the problem with the churches and the mosques and the synagogues is the 501c3.
Boom.
They've been entrapped since Johnson by the ridiculous IRS. But listen, 501c3, 501c4s, if you trace them, they go right to the global public-private partnership oligarchy. So all you have to do is start rewriting the code for the 501. Only an actual charity that is actually helping people, that is vetted, should get anything from the government. That nobody should be getting grants from. I'm telling you, the worst of the worst is this USAID that's run by Samantha Power and National Endowment for Democracy, because what they're doing here, they've done all over the world. And the other scary part that I see right now is the propaganda campaign going on overseas. And I believe that it's from the inside, because never before have the American people been blamed for our corrupt, incompetent, or just awful people that end up in our government. Right now, we are being blamed because they want, the BRICS nations especially, want their people on the side of them against the United States. And what's scary is a friend of mine that's a journalist overseas said that they're running all these Kamala ads that make it look like America idolizes abortion. Like
Yeah.
the MO overseas is that America is fighting to have unfettered abortion till birth. And that there are all these crazy commercials are
But
also airing
that is what
there.
they're running on. That
I
is
know.
what they're running on.
I know. Can you imagine? So the rest of the world is now, remember Putin
The
talking
right
about
to killing
there's
babies. I mean, I never
right.
thought that's what the left is running on. That's why it's so obscene. It's so disgusting to me. Like the whole movement is
Yeah.
just demonic to me. I
Think
know you
about
agree
the
with me.
rest of the world watching America. Not only is our borders open, does it look like we're having race riots and all of this, but at the same time, the one issue that matters, not World War III, not the financial crisis, not the open border, is unfettered abortion till 9 months. When do these people understand after 6 months, it's a business, it's a organ harvesting, tissue, all the, I mean, it's disgusting. You have to
That's
keep the
why they
baby
want it.
alive to organ harvest. That's the business.
Right.
That's the big business. And the stem cells and all that stuff. People, they don't even know what they're doing, and they're going on college campuses, but I'm telling you, when Putin gets on stage and says America worships Satan and and the blood of babies, and our commercials overseas for Kamala, because they're not running Trump commercials, are all about not abortion through 9 months. People aren't stupid, but they're promoting us as exactly what BRICS in those countries have been painting us as since this entire nightmare started.
So, what do you think's going to happen here? Do you think now that we come into this election, they know they're going to be losing, they know there's no way to cheat as big as they did, they have to cheat even bigger with Kamala? Do you think that they just pull the plug and they reset the financial system? They do everything. They just go for a panic power move, a power grab immediately in order to get, to regrasp control. Do you think that's what they try to do? And then maybe then my mind goes to, well, you know what? Maybe that's when EBS comes through, something like that. It seems to
Yeah,
me they're going to have to make a big panic move.
yeah,
Kamala's getting shut out.
yeah. Well, what's odd though, this is what's scary about these people, because what we have to remember is that the global public-private partnership and the international bankers, they have power by region. They don't care about nation states at all. Not about they haven't in decades. So they care about having the power in the region, which is what all this regionalization, no borders, open society is about. So, in my opinion, no matter what they do, it's going to be above our government. I really do believe that this is way above the people that are, like you said, were captured. But I really don't think that anyone other than Donald Trump can save us at this point. But I think they know that too. So you're seeing a lot of the billionaire class starting to either not support Kamala or not back Kamala. But frankly, I think it's just really going to be a situation where we have been preparing all this time, and now they're going to. Listen. They are calling him a fascist on TV. What is
Yeah,
that?
I
That's a
mean,
dog
openly
whistle to
comparing him to Hitler.
Antifa.
That's
Yeah,
what kind of move? That's a last desperate move. Comparing him to Hitler. I mean, Kamala coming out and that's her last desperate attempt.
yeah. But they don't care what we look like to foreign countries, and we have to keep remembering that. I believe not only can Trump work out with the BRICS nations, but the Trump can also work out to end the war. So don't forget that a lot of people are really at a point where they don't want to be in these wars anymore. But we also have to figure out where all the money's gone and the 800 bases out there and what's going. I mean, there's so much work to be done, but I think that we have good people in different places. But it is going to be, I think, scary and dangerous, but only in pockets of America. So, we have to make sure that we're there for our
I'll say this.
family and
I
friends.
think these illegal immigrants are going to be activated. I think they're here to
Me
be
too.
activated, and I think, like you said, pockets, but understand that there's military grade weaponry coming across, and I'm on the
I know.
border, so I'm hearing this all day long.
Yep.
What's going?
Me
I
too.
got my fingers on the pulse here, and I'm on the border, and I've heard shit like surface to air missiles. Okay,
Yeah, me
I've heard
too.
shit like RPGs. I've heard AK-47. That's nothing. Those are coming over. So they're preparing for war against
Yeah.
the American people because they know we're armed. And if
Yeah.
they can spiral us into a civil war, civil unrest,
That's
then
the goal.
right. So civil unrest, financial crash, civil war is how I see this playing out. And
Yeah.
and I think that's going to be their move. I think they're going to do it during this transition of power, maybe
Me too.
like what you said.
Yeah.
After November 5th, as things really start to escalate, they're going to be like, all right, now we can blame it all on Trump. Go scorched earth.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that we have a lot more people on our side than ever before. If you look at Chicago or Detroit or Oakland or some of these strongholds that always had a lot of problems, a lot of corruption, those people have had it too, and they're not messing around either. So I don't listen. I don't think that this is a winning game for even no matter what they do. I still think the American people are more united than anyone thinks because of the Wag the Dog campaign. And don't forget, all of this is coming out as some of the Jeffrey Epstein and
P.
finally
Diddy.
and Diddy and now the other guy, this number two at Wexner's Abercrombie and Finch.